I feel like what's unique about you in stand-up is that you use your whole body. I think your physicality is so awesome and interesting, and not a lot of stand-ups do that. I think it's your stature as well because you're so short. So it's really fun to watch. Like a little... It's like watching a basketball bounce with a mic because that's your shape. Anyway.
Oh, it ends there?
Hey guys, and welcome to Friend Crush, the podcast. Today my friend crush is the incredible, immaculate Joey Dardano. Joey and I have known each other for a few years, but we've become really close in the past few months. That boy makes me laugh like no other. This is one of the funniest podcasts I have ever been a part of, or honestly even listened to. I was cracking up. I was laughing until I cried. That's because he is just like an incredible ball of energy, and he is just so unique and so funny. He has such a brilliant voice on stage. He's so tapped into his physicality. He's such a natural clown. It's great. And we talked all about that. We talked about his work on Stamptown, which is the show that Zach Zucker has been running for a few years. Actually maybe way more than a few years, but it's incredible if you haven't seen that. It's like truly like one of a kind. And we also talked about stand-up and our careers and sort of just like how we think about stuff. And I definitely laughed until I cried. So I hope you guys do too. And definitely check Joey out if you don't know him already. He is on social media, so go find him. Anyway, great episode today. Can't wait for you guys to listen. Let's go. You know how like when you Google yourself, it says like what you are. It'll give you like a little summary of like what.
Joey Dardano, gay.
It says gay?
No, but
it says gay
I was
guy?
doing a bit.
Yeah. And you're not gay.
Devastating moment of silence right there for me. Doing a kind of really did not like who I was in that moment and what happened.
Yeah, you got really bro-y for a sec there.
Yeah, and actually I think it's because now that there's just a camera and a mic on me, I'm like, all right, be cool.
Yeah, and now you're spiraling.
Yeah, and I was being a loser like 5 seconds before the camera turned on.
Yeah, in a good way or?
I think in a good way.
No, I thought we were ripping it up.
Yeah.
You were on, and you left it all the way over there. So it's
I left
like
it
you've nothing left.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchen. You were in the pocket in the
Guys,
kitchen.
this studio has a kitchen.
Yeah, and I wish you guys were there because
Joey,
it was
a good time. We got a FaceTime call from John Rudnitsky,
okay,
name drop,
brag.
famous brewery comedian. Some insider knowledge that you guys don't have.
He literally FaceTimed Joey to be like, I'm going to a brewery tonight in New Jersey for 50 people.
He's going to crush.
He's going to do so
7
well.
beers and go home sad. Send him this. Clip it and send it to him. Can you clip that? Send it
can you clip that? Tag John. Tag John in that.
Are you third? You got third mic?
I got third mic.
Dude, okay, this just opened it up. I don't know how yet. I mean, just let it rip. You know?
No, let's let it rip. Wait, can I tell you something about John Rudnitsky?
Are we both socks
Okay,
out?
so first of all, let's set the stage a little bit. We're no shoes on the pod today.
Have people done that before?
No.
There was a carpet and it felt very homely.
No, I feel so in touch with like you and
earth.
like the ground and like the carpet and like it's cozy vibes in here.
Straight up, dog.
It's beautiful.
Dude, straight up, kind of like no cap.
Anyway,
I'm
wait, okay.
bombing.
I have a funny story. No, wait, I have a really
ahead.
funny story about John, and as like a close friend of John's, I want to hear your reaction to this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I was at a friend's Thanksgiving, and my friend's dad, who's like a VC guy, like he's sort of whatever.
VC like money?
Yeah, like
Hell yeah.
no, like venture capital.
Like money.
Well, you could say that. I mean, he invests.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and give it whatever name you're gonna. It's a guy with money.
Yeah,
He's like a VC guy. He's a money guy.
He's a money guy in that, and he also was like. So he's always got like an idea about
There you
something, and
go.
he always pitches me an idea, and I love hearing his ideas because they're funny. But he literally comes to me and he's like, "Okay, so there's this crazy story I heard about this guy who did SNL and got all this stuff, and then got fired after like the one season." And I'm like, first of all, that's a lot of people's story.
Yeah.
Second of all,
It should
he's
be
like,
more people's story.
it should be. We should all be doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Everyone gets one season.
Everyone in comedy should get one season on SNL, immediately get fired. I think we should actually have no long-term cast members.
No.
Petition for just one season everything's unique.
Like a presidency. Like you can't go past a year.
Yeah, it's a term limits. Let's have term
about
limits.
that.
So anyway, and so then he like tells me this whole story. He's like, and it's like my friend wants to make a movie about this, how there's like a guy and he like basically like had his big break and then it kind of went to shit and like all this stuff. And I was like, wait, who are you talking about? Who is this based on? And he goes, John Rudnitsky. And I was like,
Devastating.
John's fine. Like, did you even Google John? Like, he's killing it.
He definitely did not look him up.
Not even one time. He was just like, in his mind, he was like, this is a crazy story. Like a guy who got a break and then nothing happened.
I'd actually venture to say that what you just explained would be someone in his position's like worst nightmare.
Why?
To have one person be like, oh, this guy's whole fucking life went to shit.
Right.
Like to have the thing where you like get the thing and then you lose it and then you fear like, oh, this is all people are gonna know about me. That's his fear. Is what the money guy's doing.
Yeah, but that's not reality. Like John is. I literally was like, do you know that John's at this cellar? And then my friend's dad was like, really? And I was like, yeah, no, he's like a really talented touring comedian.
What you're proving right now is just that people with money are dumb as rocks. Which is why I think I'd be a great guy with money.
Or that people, oh my God, you would kill it with money.
I would kill
you with money. What would you buy?
One, I would absolutely love to like once a month just rent a space out, throw a party. I don't know how much I could sustain doing open bar.
Right.
But like renting a space out, that'd be awesome.
I love how in your wildest dreams you're like, but I don't know if I could afford open bar.
I didn't really set the tone for how rich I was in this. I was like, well, surely I have like some money.
You with money is still just like a little bit of money. Just like a little bit more.
I just like, I want to like rent the space out, but everyone has to order in.
Yeah, it's a cash bar. You understand? What am I, made of money? Yeah, it's a fantasy. So you could.
You have to buy like one drink from the bar and then like from your backpack pour another beer in there.
Right. You have to bring a little.
When do you think that's not okay anymore? To like bring an extra drink to a spot? Because I still do that sometimes.
You do that?
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
You guys all do that?
Yep.
Wait, but what about a pregame?
New York got so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, New York, the economy sucks.
No,
tariffs.
pregame is such a fucking young person's thing because the whole point is that you want to save money and get drunk so that you have a good time when you're out.
Yeah.
Once you start getting older and older, you're not meeting up at midnight. You're meeting up at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
The latest.
Yeah.
And you want to get drunk there. That's the whole point, is that you meet up with your friends. You start off a little tight. Like,
yeah.
How was your week? You're like, oh, week's good. You see this movie? Yeah. All right. And
yeah,
then 3
sucks.
beers in, you're like, all right, I voted for him, but that's not bad. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you want to get there. Like pregame is bullshit. But the problem is that now drinks have gotten so expensive.
Yes.
That you want to go to the bar. You want to have fun at the bar. The bar's the fun place to be.
Yes.
You want to save a little bit of cash. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I tried to have like a really hard take, and halfway through I was like, but I love pregame. I had the thought in my head halfway through. I was like,
yeah, but pregame
Joey,
is
you
the
don't
best
hate
part.
pregame's this part.
You're
I really
Joey
tried
Dardano.
to.
That's what they're gonna say on Google about you. Joey Dardano hates pregame. Anti-pregame comedian.
And then what happened right after is Joey Dardano can't commit to a single take. Halfway through, I was like, pregames aren't that bad.
No, I know. Also, like
I do like bringing a beer somewhere.
Yeah, you have to.
So it's just both. Maybe we pregame and we bring a beer.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have like a really low tolerance.
I have low T.
I'm crazy. Yeah, well, that makes sense for you.
Yeah. Why?
Well,
why?
Just because of your general like look and like demeanor, and you seem to like women.
It made more sense before that last part.
You're like one of the gals to me.
I kind of pride myself on that.
You can hang like with the ladies, I feel.
I try.
Yeah. Is that because
straight up a lot growing up, like my good friends were all girls.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, did you have sisters?
No. 2 brothers.
2 brothers?
I'm the middle of 3 children.
Wait, and are your brothers really like, what are your brothers like?
My little brother's quiet usually, but like if he's around people that he like really fucks with, he's gonna be goofy and loud and like do bits and jokes. Like he's a very, very silly, goofy guy, but I will say he's the quietest of the 3.
Okay.
My older brother, friggin' goofball. Like his wedding, he did a dance around his wife to the song Beggin', with like a
Wait,
gold...
how does begging go?
Begging you, put your loving hand out, baby. When I was there.
You know what's funny?
What?
About you doing that?
What? I just cost your podcast like 10 grand?
You got completely still as you're like singing. You're doing this like
begging.
You're like frozen.
I've been fully talking and like gesticulating and moving.
You do like a crazy.
Begging you, put your loving hand out, darling. What was that? I blacked out. What's going on?
I was there. I feel like I'm at the wedding.
He did a very fun thing where the golden jacket he wore, I don't know if it's called sequins or not. I think it's sequins. If you go this way, it's gold. If you rub it up, it's
sequins.
Black.
It's got to be sequins.
So we wrote his wife's name is Yuli. My sister-in-law is Yuli. He wrote Yuli and me in the sequins.
Aww.
And danced around her to the song Beggin'. And everyone afterwards was like, I didn't know he had moves like that.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my God. I want that.
Yeah, and I can't read. So that's where I'm at in the Three Brothers.
Yeah, I was just listening to a podcast about differentiation in siblings and how like, off. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Go off.
Okay. So basically, like when your sibling excels at something, a lot of the times another sibling will like do something completely different so that they're not in the same lane. So they don't have to compete. And they can have their own thing. Did you feel that way with your brothers?
My older brother is I would say the smartest out of the three in terms of like actual like money-making tech knowledge.
Sure.
So I think, I was like, well, I don't have to do that. He's going to take care of the family with tech.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and be a professional dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I really just did because my parents are divorced and I wanted them to look at me.
Oh, and you're a middle child too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like double.
Yeah. Do you want to have a good podcast or a bad one? Like, what's your goal with the pod?
Learn about you.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm deeply flawed, deeply closeted, and I think we're gonna have a really good time.
Deeply closeted, as in you are gay.
I'm not gonna dig into it because it would be me stealing a Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't
riff on this. Sorry.
Okay.
There's rules.
Put a kibosh on it.
How long have you been doing it? Wow, without context, it's gonna sound like I'm just putting her down, but
how long have you
really fun talk with? I don't know if you guys heard his name, John Rudnitsky.
So our friend John, friend of the pod, we just kept asking him how long. That's like for a comedian. I feel like my friend in college used to do this bit where he would be like, "What's your major?" Like out.
Oh
like,
my God. Undecided.
Yeah. Like at a party, you're just
What
like holding a drink.
In college?
I was a drama major.
There you go.
Crazy, right? Were you also?
Dramatic arts. Mine was a little bit more academic.
Where'd you go?
The New School. Huge waste of money and time.
Oh my God, same. I feel like higher ed is a scam.
I think for the arts, yes.
Okay, fair.
I think most directors will agree that film school is bullshit.
Correct.
I think a good chunk of actors will agree that acting school was dog shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I found an excuse. I don't think my family would have let me move to New York at 18 if I
did you start
do this.
When did you start doing stand-up? During college?
15.
What?
Yeah, I went up once at I did the improv in West Palm, which is now no longer existent. Hannah Berner, actually, she let me open for her so I could do it one more time before they tore it down. And it was really cool because the first time I did it, it was like actually a lot of people for someone's first time doing stand-up. It was like it sits like 600 and there's like 400 people there. My first time ever doing. They had like different curtains to block off depending on how many tickets there were, and only like one section was blocked off. Like there's a lot of people there, and I did it for like 400 people, and I was going to bomb. The guy let me take this class, and before the show, he let us run the set for the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
And when I ran my set, he came up to me separately, and he was like, I think you should wait until the end of the next class and do the next class's graduation show. Like, you need some more time. And I said, nope, I have people coming tonight. And I went downstairs to the Panera Bread and I wrote a whole new 5-minute set.
Oh my God.
That I mememorized like an actor would memorize like a monologue.
Oh yeah.
So like all my like laughs and like jokes were like timed. Like I'd
Oh
be
my
like,
God.
what the helly? And then move on to the next thing.
And everyone's like, ah.
Yeah. And you could find that on YouTube. A guy
Stop.
has uploaded it, which I don't think at the time he didn't do anything wrong. He uploaded it. This is how you sent someone a footage. This is like fucking 13 years ago.
Right.
He uploaded it to YouTube so that I had it. And now I can't get it down.
It's public?
Yeah.
Dude, that would haunt me.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh my God.
It's like really bad.
It's also like your lore. Did you say anything like really problematic? Or
Like, a little bit.
Yeah. Because that's what I feel like when you first start comedy, you have like the actual audacity to like think that you can like pull off some like really edgy joke. Because like who inspired you to do stand up? Like who were you watching?
Chris D'Elia, Bill
Yeah.
Cosby, Louis C.K. post 2018, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen,
So just like the
Theo Vaughn.
Oh, for sure. Theo Vaughn like all time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ari Shaffir. Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta cut like 3 names out of this. I don't want the drama.
Anyway, okay, so that's good, yeah. But I feel like when I first started, I was like such a like I can pull this off, and then literally saying just like really crazy things.
Well, when I was younger, I thought and when I say when I was younger, my good friends will call me out on this, so I'm gonna own up to it. Man, up until like 2.5, 3 years ago, I still kind of had part of me that thought that the funny part of saying something fucked up was the act of saying something fucked up. Was that was the funny part, that you had the audacity.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you like were not scared, or that you found like a perfect place to fit in like a problematic thing.
Yeah.
Usually around company where they trust that you don't mean it.
Right.
But like
context is key.
Context is key. But like, to say something problematic, like that was still in. I think many comedians go through a phase where they think that that's where the funny comes out of.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, if you're gonna say a fucked up word, like if you're gonna throw the R word or something or whatever, which actually is not, that's a bad example because it's not as fucked up as other words. But like if you're gonna throw that into a joke, it better be like a smarter take where like you're pointing out how dumb it is to say it most of the time.
Yeah, or like there better be like a reason for it. Like you better really
it
be
really better fit, and the joke better not be that there was like a 2-minute setup and the punchline is just that you built up to saying it. Like that better not be the bit. I have like 2 friends I know who like had a joke maybe like 2 years ago where like, and they were going around the city doing it. The joke was just that they ended up saying the R word, and it would actually crush everywhere. And each time I'd be like, but that's like, it's so lazy.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough thing too, is that it's like a trick. Like it does work sometimes.
Yeah, and it rocks.
And it rocks because we just want to make people laugh. But like as a comedian, you also have to be like a little bit more critical of yourself and be like, wait, what do I actually want to say?
Yeah.
And like, who do I want to be?
What word do I really want to say?
Yeah. And is it?
Say your favorite word on 3. 1, 2, 3. How about third mic? Third mic, get a word out there.
Yeah, what's your favorite slur?
Oh, fuck.
I gotta pick just one. Give me some time to get my ranking list going.
Just one. I gotta narrow it down.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. So you started doing stand-up at 15. That's crazy. How did you?
Can I also? How dare I come on your pod and try to make one smart take on anything? Can you believe that? I tried to be smart for a second. I tried to come off smart.
Which part was smart? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just want to put these in your mouth. Not to be gay.
Why would it be wrong to be gay?
I just said I'm not.
Speak on that.
Except for sometimes.
Third mic, can you zoom in on her real quick?
Yeah, we got it.
You got her zoomed?
Yep.
All right, zoom in on her. What did you mean by that?
I just mean it's gay to deep throat the mic.
Okay, so you double down. What's wrong with being gay?
There's nothing wrong with being gay.
So what?
I'm sometimes gay, I think.
Okay. Every girl's a little gay.
I know.
Every girl's allowed to be a little gay.
Are you a little gay? You are.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that.
Okay, yeah. You've
I'm
also been
deeply
in a
closeted.
long-term relationship for a while.
Yeah.
For a long term.
That's pretty gay.
Yeah.
Which I think is yeah.
If there's a booker listening, I'm a little gay. If there's no booker listening, I'm chilling.
Chilling, super straight, committed.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Everything you say on a podcast sounds like you are etching something in stone, and I really don't like it.
That's true. And
I
podcasts
really
are
don't like
scary.
it. I feel trapped and claustrophobic.
Hey, and you know what? It's okay. It's the room. It's the curtains.
Yeah.
But just remember that
Are
you
you getting
don't
hot?
It's hot in here.
I'm getting hot.
I'm sobbing.
I actually do need to take this off.
Okay, yeah, take it off. Get comfy.
Keep
What do you want to
talking,
do?
man.
Well, so I was gonna ask, like, how did you have like the balls to do stand up when you were 15? And like how did that even come about?
I don't know if it was the balls.
Yeah,
It's
go
just-
slower while
I
you
felt-
talk. Can you just move slower? Like, just really get into it. Oh, you're like wearing a sweatshirt too. You must be so hot.
Thanks. Oh, you guys can't hear in the pod, but she winked at me.
I did wink.
Leave in all this dead air. I love to do visual bits on audio
On
mediums.
podcasts. Yeah. It's beautiful.
I am coming off so boring.
Can I tell you something, Joey? I cry
Yeah.
every pod.
She does.
Do you really?
I laugh so hard I cry every single pod.
That's what a joyous life you live.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I literally need to start bringing like tissues into the room because I'm like always sobbing. So what made you start doing stand up? You were like, I'm funny.
I mean, I was like the loud, dumb friend
Mhm.
always. I was never in one specific group of friends. I was like a group. I was a butterfly.
Beautiful.
And I think doing stand-up was one of those things where, like, I used to watch Comedy Central all the time because growing up on regular TV... Holy fuck, I'm doing that already? Wow. I did not
You just
like how
aged yourself.
Yeah, dude.
You're 100 now.
Dude, I went to my cousin's wedding this past weekend, and I did that thing. There was my cousin Stephanie. She had her daughter there,
Okay.
and I literally had one of those like, "Hey, do you remember me?
Stop.
I knew you when you were like this. Like last time I saw you, you were this big. I'm talking to your mom about visiting again." And when I walked away, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
Yeah.
And I freaked out. I actually had a bad. That made me feel weird.
Yeah. That's beautiful though.
Yeah.
So you're always the funny guy.
So I was always.
The goal of this pod is to get Joey to answer one question. Literally, if we get there and you answer one, like that's a win.
Sucks. I think I started doing. Okay, so the actual story is I was one of like fucking 4 straight guys in the theater department, so I kind of always had
Okay.
a role
Yeah.
in any of the main stage shows that they had. And like my junior year, there was a new straight and down, and he took the role.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I'll kill him.
I believe it was the play was Metamorphosis, and there was another show going on in the main stage. We had a black box and a main stage, and I didn't get cast in either one for the first time.
You had a really built out theater program then.
I went to an art school.
Oh, you went to an art school.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes a lot
I've
of
been
sense.
doing this.
No, but that makes a lot of sense then why you were like, okay, what mediums are out there? Like, let me do things for real.
Yeah, but like the only reason I had even thought of stand up was because it's funny because I cringe when you look back and talking about literally 3 years ago being like, I still thought being problematic was like funny. Like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
imagine the shit that you're doing when you're like 14, 15, thinking,
God,
thinking
yeah.
you're like, this would crush if I was on stage alone with 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
the way that I made friends was being funny. I think the way that I even had girlfriends was that I was like a funny guy. I think that's how I got people to like me, was being funny. So I was watching stand up after midnight on Comedy Central. It would be uncensored.
Oh
And
my
like
God.
actually it would be Cat Williams a lot. So I watched like a lot of Cat Williams. So like imagine like a 15-year-old like half Cuban, half Italian be like, "Okay, boo boo." Like that's that
Your
like,
first set is you doing Cat Williams.
Yeah. Can y'all believe I took her pants off and she smelled musty as hell? Goddamn, boo boo. Ladies, if you're in the house with a musty one, let me hear you say, "I'm stanky." I'm doing Def Jam comedy at 15.
That's why they told you had to take the class again. Like, you gotta stop doing Cat Williams.
And I was like, nope, I'm gonna do the show tonight. I've got bangers.
Wait, so how did the show go then when you did it?
I crushed.
Oh.
I crushed for the context of a 15-year-old
doing stand-up.
Oh, I think the show that I'm mentioning now is me at 17 because I did it like 2 or 3 times when I was 15.
Yeah.
Bombed like horribly at an open mic.
Beautiful.
That I made my family like leave a family gathering to like drive me to. And
wait, but that's so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
you had like the dog in you. You were like, I'm doing this.
I did, but I regret some of it. One is that because I it's funny because it stands out in your brain. You're like, we were at like a beautiful like a family friend, like my cousin's family friend, like her daughter's like birthday, rented out a fucking water slide. It was awesome. Sick. And I was like, we need to leave now instead of like 2 hours later to go to a coffee shop in Lake Worth, Florida called Mother Earth and
bomb face at an open mic.
And bomb in front of like
with a bunch of like 30-year-olds who don't have jobs.
Yeah, and I will say since it was Florida and not like there was like a lot of people there because it was like the one open mic happening like that.
Oh my god, yeah.
There was like a lot of people. And I bombed. I did like a whole 5-minute act out on playing Call of Duty, which want to know why that's not a good act out? It's just this. Holding a controller. It's just this. I remember that bombing, and I remember there being silence for like 4 of my 5 minutes. And my mom was there, my older brother was there, my little brother was there, my little brother invited a friend. Like, there were people there.
Yeah.
That could reference this as a memory in the future.
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing that's so tough about stand-up is that the first people that see you are the only people that will come to see you, and that has to be your closest friends and family.
Yeah.
And that's when you are your worst. Like, my family used to come to my shows because I needed them to come to my shows.
Yeah.
And now I'm like so much better because you just do it more and you get better. And then they don't come because I'm like, I don't need you to come anymore.
Yeah, but then they're like, well, now we want to come because you're good.
Yeah, and I'm like,
we would love to see
and then
you.
I'm like, I don't,
My biggest issue with, I mean, I'm 30, which isn't old, but you just already catch little things like that, like me talking to my cousin's kid in that way. Like, there's little things where I'm like, oh, there are people, like there are friends I have who definitely think of me, whether they do it on purpose or not, think of me as like a past version of myself.
Oh my god.
Like,
that's such a scary thought.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yeah.
I know, like, there's a couple people who, like, I've just fully decided now, I'm like, oh, well, I'm just not friends with them. Like, we're never going to become friends.
Because you're too scared of who you were when you were with them?
No, it's that
because
I've
you
noticed,
knew who they were.
I'm like, oh, no matter what I book, no matter what I'm on, no matter what I do, they're always going to be above me in their head. Oh my god. Because when I met them, they were above me. Or when I met them, if they weren't like above me career wise, they were at least funnier and were seen as funnier. Mm. And I was like this one, like my big issue starting out stand up, I always yapped like too much. Like my jokes were never like tight. I always like yapped and like ate up so much stage time to like write on stage. And my transitions, once that would finish, would always be dog shit. And I have friends who not laughing with me, laughing at me in the back of the room for that. And like these are people who like years later I'm like, you're still not looking at me like I'm who I am now. And I don't think I can be your friend because you're never gonna see me as what I will become. You're always gonna see me as whatever. So like someone seeing you in the beginning is actually like could be devastating to a friendship.
That's so funny.
If you bomb really bad.
I actually totally know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel that way about certain things in like certain rooms or whatever because I'm like, you saw me when I sucked.
Yeah. Like, do you think I'm funny or cool now?
Yeah, and it's like I've done a lot, but yeah, I feel like that's sort
Speak on that.
Sticks with you.
Speak on that.
Done a lot?
Yeah, speak on that.
I've gotten up a lot.
Speak on that.
I've grown. I'm now a full-time comedian now.
Go off.
Thank you. So are you.
Speak on that.
Speak on that.
Yeah, if anyone has like a day job I could do for a little bit, that would rock too.
If anyone wants to give me health insurance though, like
it was cool when I was younger. The idea of having your days open.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, I'm like, my idle hands. Like,
are you serious?
I freak out. During every single day, my girlfriend sees this every day. I freak out. And once a week, my manager Tam and I call it LinkedIn Monday. Because once a week I go on LinkedIn and I look at
Like tech jobs.
Once a week, I go on LinkedIn and I look at the life I could have.
Shut up.
And I'm like booking things. And
no,
I'm
I know
like,
you're like busy. I feel like
I'm busy enough. I'm definitely not as busy as I want to be, and I definitely don't make as much money as I neither want nor need to be making. Like I need to do more. But
fair.
The fact that like to the outside eye, you look at me and you're like, this guy's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's like on the right path. Once a week, I'm like, I gotta go to an office. Something's gotta change. Man.
I gotta like touch grass. Do you ever go hang out with like wait, but your girlfriend's not a comedian?
No.
Yeah, so you get that then.
She's in the industry enough, like adjacent by being a film composer. She's getting into it and she's really fucking good at it.
Good for her.
Yeah. But no, not a comedian.
But,
and I think no matter where you are in the industry, I think actors are mentally ill. I think directors are crazy. I think everybody's mentally ill.
Super
Comedians
rough.
are probably the most like, I'm not mentally ill, but it's just like we riff and talk in a way that a lot of people just don't know how to do.
Oh my God, literally. It's like because it's like a sport. It's like a game when we're together and we're just like fucking with each other. One time a guy broke up with me because of that. Because I was in a car with a bunch of comedians and we were just Riff City for like 2 hours. And then I
didn't join in at all.
Hated it. And then the end of the car ride, he goes, I'm gonna go home. And I was like, wait, I thought we were getting dinner. He was like,
were you like dating or were you just hooking up?
We were like on the path. We were like seeing each other on the way to. He was really boring. So.
Yeah, it sounds like those are his problem.
Oh, totally a him thing. But that was the first time I'd ever been confronted with the fact that some people don't like that. I was like, we're being so fucking funny. Like, this is awesome. Yeah. And then he was like, I hate this.
To the outside person, they're like, where's my in? Like,
yeah, they can't.
These people are like, they'll look at your friend group and be like, these people are crushing every single thing that they say, and they're hopping on each other's bit. And
we're playing double dutch, and it's like, and then there's like a guy there, and they're just trying to like jump in. They like can't do it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's like, we'll be hanging with like comedians or whatever, and there's a beautiful, look at that form. Sometimes there'll be like a non-comedian like girlfriend or boyfriend or something like there, and they're just like
trying
like just vacant eyes, just like soft smiles, like can't handle it.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful.
And I'm saying, and just the act of us talking about this in podcast setting makes it sound like this is a thing that we are revering. I think it's mental illness.
Oh, 100%.
I just want to be clear that I think this is a bad thing.
Also, it sort of creates a funny situation where there have been people that I've known for legit years in stand-up couldn't tell you a fact about them.
Yeah.
Because all we do is riff.
Yeah.
So I literally don't know who they are.
Dude, there's this. Have you watched the Conan's Mark Twain Prize
No,
ceremony?
Not yet.
There's Bill Burr comes out and gives him like a bunch of props and a bunch of like really nice. He says a lot of really nice things, and at the end he's like, and we're gonna go to the after party and not talk about anything I just said, and not point out like anything nice about what anyone said tonight. But I hope you know that like we're all here because you mean a lot to us, and like something like that, and went back. Reggie Watts, he goes up, he says something really kind and cries, and like gets off, and you just know that like these are all people who like are taking a moment to be like, well, I want to be genuine, I love you a lot, because they're about to go to the after party and completely joke around and not be able to say a serious thing,
right?
And
because it's like
it's
so much more vulnerable to be earnest, and it's like hard sometimes.
Also, when since I've been in the I was an actor first. I've always wanted to be an actor. It's my lifelong goal to do Broadway. And
wait, really?
Yeah,
you're gonna be on Broadway.
My dream is to be on Broadway more than in movies, because it, if I'm being honest with you, genuinely feels like actual work.
Yeah,
every single time.
And you don't want to make any money, so
I don't want to make any money. Well, movies and TV are their way to, and also touring stand up and Broadway. I kind of put in the same. realm, because it's you performing live,
and you get to like be with people, and like
there's an energy there, and
it's awesome.
You're every single show, you're only as good as your last performance.
Oh
no
yeah,
matter what.
Yeah.
Movies and TV are my lifeline. If they didn't exist, I don't know what I'd do between the hours of 4 to 6 and then 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I don't know what to do. I love them a lot. My dream has always been Broadway. I have grown into wanting to do like TV and movies. I've grown into that.
That's beautiful. I mean, my favorite thing to do is Riff City, USA. So
I love taking a Riffy bike to Riff City.
Oh my God.
Get on the Riff way.
If you are on the Riff boat to Riff's Staten Island.
Speak on that.
Staten Island, Riff.
Go to the Riff port, get on a Riff plane. Are you just adding the word Riff to things? You have to like replace part of the word. And then insert the word Riff was the bit.
Riff Queens.
You're like we're on a Riff podcast talking into Riff mics sitting on Riff. I'm like, no, it's a Riff Air. It's a Riffike. Like you gotta like even if it's bad, you gotta at least do the bit a little bit. You gotta riff water on a riffable. Like, is it good? No, but are you doing the bit? Yeah.
Riffcopter.
What? Now she's riffying. She's fully riffying. There's riffeers falling down of her riff eyes.
Cry number 2. Flag it.
You guys, I'm sobbing. So when did you sort of develop your voice as like...
Shut up! What? You're throwing out a real genuine question? What? Can we cut that part where I told a woman to shut up on the podcast? Can we cut that out?
No, we're keeping it. We're clipping it. Clipping it. I'm stopping. You're screaming. Shut up.
Shut up.
No, hold on. I want to do an angry take so that it looks like...
Okay, get it.
No, shut up. Shut up. Stop crying. Clip that?
Yeah, that's the promo for the episode.
That's the promo.
I'm really excited about it.
I'm going to get a lot of calls after that.
Your team is going to be all over your ass.
Pause. Press play.
Okay.
Rewind. Do it again.
Your team?
Oh, my God.
Sobbing now.
She's got a real riffestion. It's a riff question.
Okay, so I'm going to ask my question if that's okay.
Your what?
I'm going to ask my riff question if that's okay. On the Riffod cast.
Go ahead.
The Riffcast.
Riff on that.
We'll call it Riffcast.
We're not going to do that.
We're taking the Riffcopter to the Riffcast. Okay.
We're riffily ill. Clip that. Hey, buddy. Clip that.
All right. How long have you been doing it?
Oh, my God.
Okay,
Can you hurry this up? I have a gig at a brewery in 2 hours.
John's gonna watch this. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
They're making fun of me the whole time.
These are just things that we said to John to be mean to him, just to catch the listener up. Anyway, so you're a clown. I feel like what's unique about you in stand up is that you use your whole body. I think your physicality is so awesome and interesting, and not a lot of stand ups do that. I think it's your stature as well because you're so short. So it's really fun to watch. Like a little... It's like watching a basketball bounce with a mic. Because that's your shape. Anyway.
Oh, it ends there?
So how do you respond to that? No, when did you sort of
My great fear is that you're going to clip that in a way where it looks like I'm genuinely pissed off that you said that.
And then we have the shut up.
He's an editor, so we'll just edit it. Dude, okay. So you were doing stand-up, you were doing Cat Williams impressions for a long time, and then at some point you sort of figured out your own voice. Like, was there like a moment in time where you're like, oh, this is me, or did you kind of always have it and it just grew?
The pandemic was probably, I think I personally grew exponentially in the pandemic, but I also have a memory of before that, my friends Gabby Bryan and Zach Senior had a show where their friend Keith Baratko played piano, and I did one of their shows, and instead of doing a set, I was just like, I'm gonna fuck around with Keith. How you guys all feel about Keith? And be woo, and I just like made up funny songs with Keith for like 8 minutes, 10 minutes. We absolutely destroyed. Beautiful. And then I started bringing Keith around to like random shows that they didn't even have a piano. Like Keith would like come with a piano or if the place had a piano, and I found out about that, I would text Keith and be like, "Can you be here in 45 minutes?" And like during that period of time, we didn't keep it up, and that bums me out. But during that period of time, I was like, "Oh, this whole thing where I'm actively trying to be like a guy who sits down, writes jokes, and then bring those jokes to the stage is just simply not what I do."
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be some stand-ups out there who could be like, "Well, that's not really it." Well, I go, "Well, how about this? Kill yourself." Because
And I agree.
that's probably not a good quote to throw out there either.
And I'm so true.
So true. But I was doing that, and then to fast forward, the pandemic happens, comedy stops, and when live shows start happening again in New York, I'm like, I'm not gonna do material in the middle of Herbert Von King Park at 7 p.m. I'm not gonna like actively try to tell a joke at Maria Hernandez at 3 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm gonna talk about what's happening. I'm gonna riff around, and I always did riff, but like this is me fully committing finally to like 10, 15-minute sets of like, I did not tell a single joke that I wrote.
Yeah.
And I crushed, or at least did very well.
Right.
And over time, that made me trust in like, I'm funny. If I allow myself to not, there's like a wall of thought that you just like eliminate when you're on there. I tried to explain it to someone else. Do you feel this way? When I'm on stage, I actually do black out. I actually genuinely do black out in a way, and all that matters to me are the people like immediately in front of me. I'm looking at their faces, and like depending on how they're reacting, I'm like gauging who I can talk to, or if they're gonna like the next thought that came in, and if I in the middle of like a sentence that I just came up with, I'm like, well, that relates to a joke that I actually have written. Now I'm gonna do. Now I know for a fact for the next 4 minutes I'm safe because I'm gonna say an actual joke that I have written, and by the end of that, someone's gonna have a weird laugh that makes me go off and like.
Yeah.
I black out.
I don't do that. I don't black out. I'm like kind of in my head about like, oh, this is my next joke, like blah blah.
Is your mouth on autopilot?
No. If my mouth is on autopilot, I'm fucked.
Pause,
that means
press play. Clip that. Why would I say pause if it's a girl saying it? Pause. Ew.
Yuck. No, yeah. If I'm on autopilot, then it's like the worst set of my life. Like it doesn't matter how strong the jokes are. Like it's always bomb. It's a bomb. But if I feel like I'm actually talking to people, that's like the best. But I still am. I really do material. Like sometimes I can like I'll riff for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are like on the whole other end of the spectrum where you're like
you and I did the Netflix thing.
Yeah,
together,
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Literally right before I go on stage.
Yeah, I went up right before Joey. It was like we were like second
Crushed.
and third.
Genuinely had a very good set.
Who, me or you? Oh, thank you. I had a lot of fun. It was a great one. Yeah. Neither of us got it. It's worth it.
Neither of us got
We did not get Netflix is a joke. But anyway, yeah. So I'm about to go on. I'm like, I'm warming him up for you, Joey. And then Joey goes,
is it funny if I...
Yeah, he goes, is this anything? Says something that is like about like that day. And I was like, Joey, do material. Oh
fully
my God.
Fully in my notes app.
He's like literally like pen and paper. He's like, is this anything? I'm like, Joey, this is not an open mic. Please. Please, for the love of God, do material. And then you got up, you did not do material.
I didn't do any material for that.
No,
I think I said
funny.
I said like one or two like quick bits that I definitely have prepped. And other than that, I was like fully like,
yeah,
fuck this.
And it was also like, it wasn't even like, oh, maybe this is material. It was like literally about like, here's what I did today on Ash Wednesday. It was like so clearly like, today I did this. And it was great. I mean, it was funny. Yeah. But I think that's like your superpower too, is that you are just like, you're sort of like a dog. You're just right there all the time.
Go ahead.
You're just right there. You're jumping around. You're cheery. You're chipper. You're like a... I want to say golden retriever, but that's like so
I think golden retriever's not what you mean, because golden retriever, I think of like a frat boy.
Oh, so true. Brother, right? What would you say, like French bulldog?
Maltese.
Can we get a pic of a Maltese?
Nice Italian dog.
Yeah, it's a nice Italian dog. Nice Italian Cuban dog.
I once had a dog that was Maltese and Havanese. He was half Cuban, half Italian, just like me. And his name was Bo. And instead of being our dog, I called him our brother.
That's beautiful. Did he look like you?
No, it was a fucking dog.
My dog looks like me. My parents' dog.
Okay.
Yeah, he's curly like us. He looks like he's my mom's son. It's crazy.
You guys have they have the same face?
Yeah.
Oh, so your dog looks like this?
That is what I look like.
Got your ass.
Thank you.
I fucking got your ass.
Yeah.
Have I been a good guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I laughed so hard I cried, so that's sort of my barometer. On like
which she does every time.
Yeah, which I do every time, but to be fair, because I have amazing guests.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And every single episode is unique and special and beautiful and gorgeous.
There you go.
What's unique about this one?
That Joey's here.
There you go.
Fuck it.
And
Clap it up for Joey, man.
That Joey tried to get us all to say
minimum
slurs.
response to that.
Okay, so that's fun that you're a clown. Oh, I wanted to ask you, how did you get involved in Stamptown?
Well, I have a bunch of friends who were a part of it already, like Martin Urbano and a couple other people
Super funny
who were like
comic.
frequent members of the show. And I went once and I DM'd Zach. I hung out with Zach and a couple other people. This is back when it was at Asylum NYC, which is where the old UCB was, which is now torn down for condos.
Oh, really? It's condos now?
Yeah, I went to the closing night of UCB, and there's actually a photo of me in a I forget which newspaper, of me being lifted and carried into a big, big giant crate. There's another name for it, but it's like where trash goes, like big rocks and like giant pieces of trash of me being thrown in. Because to commemorate the closing, we like carried people out onto the street through the thing, and I was one of them. It's actually very sweet.
Paved Paradise.
There you go.
The old UCB theater.
Yeah.
The Asylum NYC. Put up a condo.
Stamptown did Union Hall, and then it moved there, and I heard so much about it, and people kept talking about it, and I had seen it, and I DM'd Zach, and Zach was like, yeah, if you could send me a tape, and also we don't know whenever, and I was like, ah! Devastating response, because
you wanted to be like, I know you, and
I haven't made it at all, but I was at least past the point where if I asked someone to do their show, they were
like,
asking for
like,
tapes.
Right, yeah, like you're around enough. When you're around enough, people kind of know you, no matter what, you know.
Or they're
like,
at least just be like, oh, you know this person and this person, that means you're
right.
Whatever.
When was this? What year was this?
I mean, I don't fucking know. Probably like
a few years.
That's so funny to be asked a question like, I mean, I don't fucking know.
Why would you ask me that?
Why would you ask me that fucking question? I don't know.
You cried?
It has to be like 2021, 2020, something like that.
Okay.
Like, shows were happening, but the pandemic had happened. Because I remember I was doing my show Peaches and Cream with my friend Lily, and we were like outside a lot. Because I did one of the
Is that Lily Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like one of our shows, Zach had come to one of my shows with Martin, because Martin did the show that night, and then we went to a rooftop party afterwards because everything was still outside.
Okay, brag.
So it was like 2020. Yeah, I get
this
invited
guy
to stuff.
goes to parties.
I get invited to stuff.
Yeah.
I get invited to stuff, and I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with my friends. Can you turn the volume up on my mic?
Yep.
I have a lot of fun with my friends at the parties.
That's great.
That I get invited to.
Yeah.
Turn my mic up. They can't hear me.
I don't think they can hear you. I think that's why no one's laughing, because it's not loud enough.
Hey, I can't hear me, man. Can you turn my mic up?
Yeah,
not wearing headphones. I can't hear me.
Okay, so
I DM'd him asking to do the show. He was
like, he said, "Kick rocks. I hate your guts."
Yeah, and then I actually got so embarrassed that I unsent the message, I think, and then I sent it again.
Oh my God,
a couple months later.
Totally done that.
Yeah, because I was like, surely this guy was gonna.
He made a mistake. Yeah,
who I am. Like we have, not like on an ego like work thing. Like we've hung out.
Right.
Like did he think this was like a random message? And so that happened, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do Stamptown. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then years later, we did a show together at like 3 years after that, we did a show together at the Slipper Room, where I went on before him, and we really hit it off and hung out a bunch that night. and we like both were just complimenting each other on what we do. And it was one of those sets where I asked someone, there was a piano there, and someone in the audience, I go, does anyone play piano? And someone was like, yeah. And I made them play piano for me, and I fucked around with them for 15 minutes.
That's awesome.
And I would tell jokes, then go back and fuck with this guy. I would yell at this guy, do a song, pretend like he fucked up, and like yell. Like I did my whole thing. And Zach comes up and he says a very kind thing, because if you've ever seen him do Jack Tucker.
Yeah, I saw Jack Tucker.
You know, he needs the sounds, and he needs all his props.
He has a whole
to make that
thing, yeah.
work. And he said a very kind thing where he was like, I'm so jealous of what he said it a certain way, and however this sounds, he was like, I'm jealous of what you do because I need all of this to make it work. Because when I got off stage, he was in the back putting water on his head and like beating up the apple a bit so that when he does his Jack Tucker bits, everything's like ready. And I was like, I'm jealous of what you do because I think it's awesome. Yeah.
When I saw Jack Tucker, that was my same thought. I was like, this is so different from what I do. And
I'm so jealous of it.
I'm so jealous of it.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah.
It's the perfect medium between rock star and comedy.
You think that's what it is to you? That's funny.
Because I actually don't think musical comedy is. I think something like what he's doing is.
Yeah. What I love about Zach Zucker is he is legitimately like a clown too. I mean, you're also a clown, but you do like stand up. I don't know. He's like literally
I get what you're saying.
Directly, but he also trained as a clown. Did you do that too?
He did. No, I took clown in college.
Yeah. Do some basics.
Because it was acting school and most of us do it. I think what Stamptown was my crash course into understanding a lot of clown. Like business casual, those three boys.
Because they do improv, yeah?
They do sketch.
They do
improv too, but like they're a sketch group.
Okay.
And they are, they're like core Stamptown members, and they Stamptown company crew. When they moved back to LA from New York, I cried in front of them at backstage at a Stamptown. To them and Kylie, I cried because I said being friends with you guys has reminded me how fun comedy can be.
That's so beautiful.
And you guys opened me up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not trained in being a clown by like going to the school that's in France. That starts with a G. I forget, Gesaffelstein or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
But there's so many moments where it's like there's a bit called Normal Joey on Stamptown now because for a long time my awesome bit was that I ran the light, and my awesome bit was that I just took over the show and ran the light and was actually kind of completely disrespectful to the format and the audience and the other performers on the show. And
hilarious bit. You guys have to try it.
You guys have to try this. When someone tells you to get off stage, don't do it for like 20 more minutes.
No, like literally just stay on stage until they hate your guts.
Yeah.
Just be like, no, I'm almost there. I'm killing, I bet. No one's laughing.
That version is...
You're getting like waved at.
That version of me on the show is dead for the most part. I still kind of overstayed my welcome at the time, but then we came up with a character named Normal Joey because there was like one night with the show. We're trying to make the show tighter, and so Corey and Zach and Jeremy come up with the character of Normal Joey, which is like, I'm gonna do stand up for 7 minutes. And I'm introduced to the audience like, I'm going to do stand-up for 7 minutes. And when 7 minutes is over, I'm getting off. And so we did it. So, like, I screen recorded 7 minutes on a timer behind me. And it played on the screen. And I would keep telling jokes that bomb. And then every single time a joke bombs, I would turn at the clock and be like, fuck. Okay, like how much time? And, like, checking the time, going back to the mic, looking at the same person in the audience and like having a thing with them or whatever, like having all these beats. When I got off stage, Corey was like, those were very good instincts. That was very clown-esque. And I was actually like, it's actually a huge compliment you just gave me. Yeah. Like I know to you guys that's normal. And these are all things that I do, but you gave it a name and you gave it like a
it's
title.
Like a category.
And I feel very welcome in this space, but I'm not gonna accept being called a clown because I don't. Now that I actually run with real
clowns,
studied clowns, I don't.
Yeah.
It would be like if you met this could come off mean, but it would be like if you met like an open micer who's been doing it for like 6 months and like, I'm a stand-up comedian. And you're like, yeah, but not yet. So don't do that.
It's like you are and like, whatever. But yeah, no, there's a difference between like, like an open micer and then like Dave Chappelle who's been, doing it.
Awesome reference.
Okay. Well, he's goated. So
awesome. Are you a big fan of his recent work?
I'm literally fighting for my life to think of an uncontroversial, like, best of all time stand-up, like Shane Gillis.
Joe Rogan. Do you say Shane Gillis?
He's not controversial. Famously controversial.
It's like a main reason why he got super
he
big.
literally got canceled.
He would have been big without it.
Yeah, he is like so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so open micer and Shane Gillis, that's like the difference.
Oh, that's where you're.
That's what you are. You are an open micer. And Zach Tucker's Shane Gillis.
Clip that.
No, so no, but I get what you're saying. Like, there is a very
to watch you take a swallow and get back on track is, from my point of view, devastating. For you to be like, no, we're still off track. No, but for real. This is why I love being a guest. I think being a guest is awesome. Being a host, it sucks so bad because you're in the middle of having fun, and then like we like riff to the end of a riff line,
put the chain back on the tracks.
Like, but you started comedy when you were like, Jesus Christ.
All right. Anyway,
how long have we been talking? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, like 1,000 years.
It's been an hour 5 minutes.
That's like nothing.
I wasn't asking for an actual answer.
Well, I'm a producer, man.
I didn't want like the actual
through and
number.
through.
Listen, people with facts just ruin things.
I don't want it. I literally don't want that.
Right,
how hot is it outside? Someone's like 78 degrees. I'm like, shut the fuck.
You're like, jump.
Say hot. Jump. Like say hot enough for no jacket. That's what I want to know. I want to know like a feeling. I want to know like a vibe.
Yeah, you don't.
78 degrees with a wind chill. Shut up. Shut up.
So you've enjoyed being in Stamps?
Or what?
You've enjoyed being in Stamptown?
I think it's legitimately changed my life.
That's awesome.
Whether it like changes my life career-wise or whatever, who's to say? But just for being a funny person who goes on stage and performs, it has changed my life.
Yeah. It seems like such a cool group, and it is so fun as a stand-up because stand-up can be very, very rigid. And then you get all these, like, what you were saying earlier about, like, people's opinions. Yeah. And,
bunch of rules that you don't even know about when you're...
Yeah. And then people are, like, stand-up purists about it, and they'll be like...
They're usually losers.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry, but if you're a stand-up purist, you're probably an old guard kind of loser, where you're, like, trying to hold on to... I will say that a good chunk of my 20s, and I'll never forgive myself for this, but it's also... It was a learning ground. I mean, it was a lesson, and like if I ever have the chance to like save anybody else this pain, I will do that. But moving to New York and becoming friends with a bunch of people who like are adjacent to or are like established comedians who this is their life, they're making their living off of it, they're doing it every day, and like being told these like asinine or like whatever like rules of like how to do things and how to operate and how to and what you should be doing every day to consider yourself a comedian. How many mics you should be doing, how written your joke should be, who you should talk to, who you're allowed to talk to, what table you're allowed to sit at. None of that shit fucking matters. It did maybe back in the day because there was no, this art form was being established and there was like ways to like keep it. But it's so spread out now. No rules really exist. And it's also direct to
it's direct to consumer now in a way that it never was before.
Yeah.
Because now we have the internet, so we can just go straight to people. Like there's no like industry yes or no. Like you can have a full-time career.
Yeah, you're doing it more smart than me because I popped off on TikTok a little bit in the pandemic and then I fully gave up on it because it's like so bad for my brain.
So you're going to be in a couple movies coming up?
Sorry. Tried to start doing a bit, and I halfway through was like, "You are just being weird, brother."
Does that happen to you a lot?
Like you think, like in my head, I'm like, so like she's about to get this bit and like start rubbing it. And can I tell you something? Me doing that like little breathing and neck thing. What was the bit?
It wasn't really a lot for me to grab onto. Let's call John again. You meet John on the pod.
I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be fucking
John's
sick.
the homie. John met my whole family.
Really?
Yeah, I opened for him down in Florida. I had to go see a doctor, and
Oh yeah, I remember you were like, I have to go to the doctor. I have to go to
Wait, wasn't that the day after Netflix?
Yeah, I think so.
That was me opening for him that weekend, and he met my whole family.
Oh.
My older brother loved him.
He's a lovable guy.
Yeah, but like his stand-up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Him as a person, my brother was like, get him away from me.
Like, go away.
Stand-up, loved it.
For sure. I think also that's the funny thing about stand-ups that's pretty unique is that stand-ups are like the only people, no, maybe that's not true at all. But you can like who they are on stage and then you meet them in real life and you're like, ooh.
I think that's me.
That's all of our fears.
And I think that's probably how a lot of people feel about me.
Okay.
They meet me and then they're like,
oh, don't worry. I think you're way better off stage.
Wait a minute. You're funny, man. You're funny.
Riffcast, let's go.
Yo, you're riffing. They call you Riffette Sagan. Riffette sounds like the comedian Smurf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so you want to be an actor predominantly first and foremost, or do you just kind of want to do everything until something sticks? Don't laugh at me for asking questions.
It's funny because you're doing your job, and each time you go back
I want to know.
asking a real question.
It's not even my
do you
job.
Put money
I
like in a 401k or
how do you have health insurance?
Yeah. I mean, dude, like most comedians I know got into it with an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
You know? Or they get into it because they like maybe were established somewhere like in another form and then they bring it to the stage. But like, because stand-up's one of the only things where you can kind of just make money off of the fact that it's a personal appearance. And then you could bomb your dick off for 45 minutes but still cash a check, which is, I think, hilarious.
That is like a crazy thing.
We really should have like quality control where it's
like you only get paid half if you bomb.
There should really be. Have you ever seen the documentary Comedian or whatever?
No.
Yeah, it's called Comedian. Seinfeld and this guy Orny Adams. I think it's in that podcast or if it's in something else. They like get really in these are rules that I think are bullshit. But it's like one of those things where like as a headliner you needed to reach laughs per minute. You know, there's actually like for the documentary there was actually a guy who was like timing like late night sets or whatever to like see in 5 minutes he got like 35 laughs, you know? 5 minutes he got like 42 laughs.
What?
Yeah, it's not crazy.
I think I remember when I very first started, that was something that was talked about, like laughs per minute. I never hear that now.
Yeah.
Not because like stand-up has suffered. I think it's just grown.
Yeah.
I think it's like...
You'll have to build something up a little bit. But
yeah,
I think that people who tour and people who make a lot of money doing this, when they're doing a theater gig or they're headlining a sold-out club, there should be someone back there doing laughs per minute. And if it's less than 50%, your pay should get docked.
Yeah, like a contractually obligated number of laughs.
Yeah. And then we're going to get a contractual loophole. Everyone's going to start titling their show Work in Progress or New Material Night. And then be like, well, you can't dock me. I'm finding the jokes.
Yeah, I'm riffing. I was riffing the whole time.
But there are so many people who I've gone to see their like headlining show. And I'm like, no way.
Yeah. Name names?
I'll do it. One of them's Riffette Sagan. One of them's Yvette Riffagan. Couldn't make it work.
Rifkin. That's just a different name.
It's just someone else.
Yeah.
Like to see that as well. But
what I admire about you is that you don't care about laughs at all.
God damn it. By the way, I have a mental illness that I don't know if you've experienced this entire podcast, which is if I'm not 100% balls to the wall funny the entire time, I genuinely feel like I failed.
You're not failing. I can tell you that. Are you in therapy?
No.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense.
Dude, one of the women always bring up therapy. Are you doing therapy? Are you in therapy? Every 2 seconds. I'm like, no, man, I talk to my friends.
Because you
I
say
go
you
home
want
and I sit in the darkness for like 30 minutes.
And they go face down.
I go home, my girlfriend's already asleep, so I have nobody to talk to. And I sit in the dark. Sometimes I get out of the shower, dry off fully with air, then sit down on the couch completely naked. And I watch TV. And then I think, you're being weird. And I go and put on clothes. And when I go put on clothes, I wake up my dog and I say hi to her. And when I'm kissing her on the head, I feel a little bit of purpose again. And then I go back out into the living room. And after 45 minutes of TV, I go, I've been scrolling my phone. I haven't even watched a minute of the TV that I've been watching.
TV, yeah.
And I've done, and all this is going to do is make me feel worse in the morning. And then I wake up in the morning and it takes me like an hour to even get the energy to walk my dog. No, I'm not in therapy. I just really do all of that.
That's great. That's good.
Are you in therapy?
I'm in therapy. I love it. I had therapy today. It's working.
How do you pay for it? How expensive is it?
I have a sliding scale. Yeah, I have a sliding scale with my.
I found a sliding scale person, and I ended up getting a girl who was the exact same age as me, was still like $80 a session, and like. There was something about her being the same age as me that like every time we talked and she gave me advice, I'm like, well, you also don't have any fucking idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're all doing the same thing.
And now there's just someone else who could possibly know people I know.
Yeah.
Telling my shit.
I'm sorry about that. It sounds really tough. Anyway,
Are you going to ask a question? You're going to go back to asking?
What's
anyway, so you want to be an actor?
Yeah, I guess we didn't really even get to that, but yeah, you want to be an actor. You're hilarious stand-up. Are you touring, headlining?
Yeah.
Okay.
As of right now, I just have like a couple of weekends because I'm supposed to do Edinburgh and like tour with Stamptown.
Oh, sick.
So I'm starting to book into September. So like, okay. I'm not actively on the road right now.
Yeah, but it's coming up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I have an hour that I'm like, after another go at this, I need to film it.
Okay.
Because I'm done.
Yes.
I'm just done with it.
Good.
And I hope it's not like a rush thing where it's like, I want to get rid of it. And like, I'm like, it's one of the, like that meme of someone like digging in a mine and there's like diamonds at the end. And like, I turn around and film it on my own when I'm like maybe 3 months away from someone offering to record it. But like, I need to get this material out of me. It's not fun to do anymore.
Yeah. Then I would say just rip it. Cause I feel like every time you are in the position of like waiting, it's like if someone was going to come to you in 3 months for this material, then just they'll come to you in a year for the next one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I get very impatient. So I don't know if I'm like even the right person to ask, but like.
I think my biggest issue in this whole thing is my impatience.
Yeah. And you think that's a problem?
I think it pays off sometimes, and other times it just leads to like not feeling good.
Because
about a lot of shit. Like why don't I have this yet? Why did this person get this and then this? And like even in like I've lived in New York now for 12 years. And in this whole time, I've had friends skyrocket past me and then stall here while I'm still doing this. And then even when I reach like this point, someone's skyrocketing past me and then stalling there. And like every time you see someone else having their growth, like all you're doing is comparing yourself to them.
Yeah.
Not knowing that basically within 2 years they're gonna like completely phase out, like if they make one wrong move or not handle it right, or maybe they weren't ready, and then they're gonna get that shot again in like 10 years, and like that kind of thing. You only care about all that stuff if you're impatient. I genuinely think everyone's time comes when it comes, and
yeah,
I don't think. I was offered a special once by this group, Comedy Dynamics. They were filming a bunch of specials at Tribeca Film Festival, like far years ago.
4 years ago.
They were doing it like years ago, 5 years ago maybe, and they offered me an hour special because I had TikTok followers. Basically, there was like real comedians involved. Like one of them was like Josh Gondelman, someone I look up to. Like he filmed a special during this chunk. and there were some other people that, you know, they were like established, and I was one of the names, and I had several friends be like, brother, I am proud of you. That's awesome. Understand that this is a win and that you're on the right path. Do not do that. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Because you are going to bomb your dick off and have a contractually obligated hour-long proof of you bombing your dick off. That will exist.
Those are good friends.
That will exist on the internet probably forever, or whenever that company, which is going to own it, is done circulating it.
Right.
And I remember initially being like pissed off at my friends for being like, you don't think I'm fucking ready. Oh, you don't think I can fucking crush that? So you're just mad because you didn't get offered this. I got offered it because guess what? God's telling me I'm ready. And like even 6 months after that, I was like, yeah, they really helped me out.
They saved you.
And my want to do it was completely bred out of impatience.
Yeah.
And being like, maybe if I film this, I'll fucking
something.
Maybe I'll get past at the cellar.
Right.
You know? If I have a special out.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of shit is it's not fun.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about the industry now is like your own best interest versus like potential sort of like ticket sales or like proof of, like when the internet's involved.
Yeah.
You can kind of skip some really important steps.
Yeah.
And those steps are getting good.
Yeah. The steps are helping.
The steps are actually, there's no shortcut in stand-up. So.
Yeah, there are people who can sell tickets and then you see them and you're like,
oh
my God.
Yeah.
But that's the laughs per minute thing. I'm like, they're doing it for money. There are a lot of, I'll say specifically influencers who start doing stand-up. And then I'm like,
yeah,
do that until the well dries up because people are just going to stop paying to see you at a certain point.
Well, I do think there's got to be something there where like, if you're selling tickets and you're getting this stage time, if you're using the stage time and you're working really hard and you're improving, I mean, I hope that's.
I think by the time people spend like $100 to see you, you need to like.
Yeah, if it's that much,
just be ready for it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm talking from the place of like
my
tickets are $15. Like
you don't want someone who spent $100 to be like, well, she's working it out and she's
right. That's true. Yeah,
like,
I guess I didn't think about that part.
Like the other day, I saw Bill Burr work out his hour at like a little theater, off Broadway because he's on a Broadway show and he just has to run it out. And tickets were they were like $85, and then Ticketmaster fees make it like $110.
Right.
I didn't pay that, but that's like what the normal person was paying to go, and he's at a level. He's been doing it for long enough. He's enough of a name. He's enough where you're like, I'm getting to watch him work stuff out price. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
To see him do this in this setting.
Yeah. And to know and have like an intimate venue with him, whereas otherwise you would see him in like a large theater.
Yeah. Whereas if someone paid, like my little brother loves to do this where like he has bought tickets off like StubHub or like SeatGeek before or whatever. And like my name has come up on his emails. It'll be like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Joey Dardano, all coming to Orlando, Florida. And he would look and be like, your tickets are $95. And I'm like, no, Matthew, that's someone
like
trying
reselling.
to make it where, well, some people don't even buy them and resell them. They will just list your tickets off that website. And then if someone buys it on the resale site, they will then go and buy tickets off yours to resell them. Like they don't even have tickets to you yet. That's one of the that's one of the scams or whatever. They're basically just selling the same ticket for double the price. But comedy clubs don't accept third-party tickets, so it's bullshit. But I'm like, dude, if someone paid that much money, like I actually had to move my Austin dates, and I got DMs from like 4 different people the day that happened, being like, "Hey, the club had the wrong date listed, and I like already like took the day off work or something like that, or like whatever to come." And I'm like, and I respond to each of them like, dude, first of all, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Second, sorry about that. But now next time I go, I'm like, I'm going to have a little bit less fun and be a little bit more stressed out about giving you like the best night of your life.
Yeah.
And I won't be working shit out. Like I'm going to be like,
I want to like
doing an hour.
Show. Yeah. If I'm working on stuff, I like make sure to bill it as like I'm working on stuff. Like if, I mean, you know, you always slide new stuff in here and there, but yeah, there was, my last SES show flooded and we go on the sidewalk and.
Was it during the show that it flooded?
Yes. It was during,
awesome.
And it was like biblical. It was like water out like at a crazy pace, just like
and I'm just imagining
seeping out of the floors.
Like, your fans, like the girl.
Okay, first of all, you've done my shows. It's not all girls.
That's actually a bunch of guys trying to follow you home.
That was one time. Yeah, please don't do that. If you're at home watching, please, that's not okay.
Yeah, you have to follow her. You could just ask me for her address.
Hey,
Jesus
anyway.
Christ.
So, hey, what? I'm so alone. So we all go on the sidewalk and it's like downpouring and this girl, I yelled into the crowd and I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys, like we have to reschedule the show. It's like, we're all flooded out. Like we can't fix it in enough time. And this girl comes over to me and she's like, I can't come to the rescheduled date because I'm from Switzerland. And I literally almost cried.
Whoa.
I was like.
And did you, like, you talked to her and
I talked
to
her.
Out that she was like, this isn't like just a comedy show that she bought tickets to. Like, she was a fan.
She was a fan. She wanted to come see me. She was in town anyway. It's not like she literally like scheduled a trip around it, but she was like, oh my God.
I want to be clear. There's not a single part of me that believed that part. There's not a single part of me that thought that she flew from Switzerland to come and see you. But thank you for clearing that up.
Yep.
Not to be mean, but I want everyone. There's no one in this room.
Okay, well, I wanted it to be clear that that's not what I was saying either. Because that would be insane. No one would do that. So
one time a fan. Sorry. I bailed in a bit. I was gonna do more of a bit.
That was probably a good idea. Anyway, but I took a selfie with her and I cried at home. But I felt really bad. Like it was just like she came all the way out. Like she left her hotel room and like could have been at the.
She could have gone to another restaurant or seen a Broadway show or like.
Yeah, like she could have. There's like you only have a limited amount of time on vacation, and she like wanted to come and see the show, and like I just felt so terrible. But yeah, I mean it's such an amazing thing to me that people want to see us perform.
I still don't believe it.
Me neither. I never believe it.
And I'm not on sellout status yet.
Yeah.
And if I have sold out, it's never been well in advance. It's like I'm not like a, I'm not like a get 'em while they're on, like get 'em the day they go on sale type act yet.
Yeah.
But like when I show up, even if it's Union Hall and it's like a pretty last minute thing where I'm like, I'm not even expecting to sell it out because like I shared it like the day before like an idiot and like all that stuff, and there's still like 50 people there on like short notice. I'm like,
that's sick.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's Saturday night at 7. Like there's like a million other things you could do.
Right.
And a movie costs actually cheaper. And there's like good movies out.
Yeah.
All the time there's like at least one good movie.
Yeah.
And but even when I first started doing stand-up, I would look in the audience and I'd be like, who comes to these?
Yeah.
I'm like, I still have not, I have met, but like, I rarely meet someone who's like, yeah, like once a week, me and the wife go to a comedy show.
Well, it's because you're around stand-ups all the time.
I talk to normal people all the time. I make a point to talk to normal people.
Okay. Some people are real.
Okay.
I don't think normal people talk to you.
Yeah, I think they avoid it.
You're screaming after them. They're running away.
Hey!
You're like, I make a point of talking to normal
How
people.
often do you? Hey!
Hey, come back here.
No, I don't talk to like most people's, I think, comedy show memory are like, yeah, last year we went to the club and we saw Dave Attell.
Yeah, it's like
and
once
that's not derogatory.
a year.
That's actually when I met my girlfriend Alina. That was when I met her. She was like, yeah, the last time I went to a comedy show, she was like, from the time we met, she was like, it was a year ago, and my friends and I saw Dave Attell.
And you were like, I'm locking this down right now.
Yeah, well, I got to be cool and be like, well, I just opened for him.
Hey.
And she was like, what?
Yeah, then she did that to your cock? Why are you both looking at me like that?
Disgusting.
Because that was gross.
Disgusting.
Because that was like disrespectful and gross.
Why would you paint his girlfriend like that?
You've met my girlfriend.
She's really nice.
She's great.
I met your girlfriend. I met your dog.
Yeah.
Beautiful family you have.
And like nowhere near as gross as you just painted her. She's not the person that you just sold to your audience.
No, she's really cool and smart and chill.
Cool and smart and chill people.
What that mouth do though? I'm one of the boys. Is this what guys are like?
But I just want to point out the demeaning thing you said. Cool and smart and chill people are also allowed
to guzzle cock. I can't. Oh my god. This is like I'm sorry.
I would just I would say that your viewpoint is like regressive for women. Like your defense of being like, no, she doesn't do the thing you said. She's smart and whatever. Like, I know plenty of smart women who do things in their own time.
I've been single for a long time.
I know. I've seen your stand up.
Yeah. Anyway. So
can't wait for you to cut this down to a half-hour episode.
What's your We're leaving it in. What is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, the premise of the show. Let me. I don't know if I have a most embarrassing moment. I have a lot.
Or do you have one like this week? Sometimes that's all you need.
Wow, I did just try to think of things on stage, but I was like, no, I've like reached a point where like if something bombs, I like just own up to it.
Yeah, you just go whatever. That
and
was
it
what it was.
Sometimes crushes harder than the joke ever would.
Yeah.
To be like, that sucked.
Have you ever shit your pants?
Have you ever what?
Shit your pants.
Well, yeah. It's not this week.
It's not embarrassing.
Oh, it's a human thing. People do that.
As an adult?
I will say there is oh, you know what? Fuck it. This is a funny story. And I am embarrassed by this. I was visiting LA. This is actually probably one of my first LA visits where like I think I went for 2 weeks to be like, let me test the vibe out here. And spoiler, I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of those people who shits on it. I can definitely make LA work. I have a lot of friends out there. You can find your way to make it work. It is not for me.
Yeah.
I am New York all the way through, baby.
Beautiful.
I love walking outside to energy. Which is why, like, if I ever lived in LA, I'd probably live off Sunset near the Intelligentsia Coffee. But
perfect.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the. Remember when I told you when I first started, when I would tell a joke, I would yap a bunch to like get to the point.
To get into it, yeah.
I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
This is. Imagine me being on stage and having limited time and eating it up by doing like what I'm doing.
Just
now.
being like, so the year is 2014.
But here's the thing:
if I were to live in LA.
You think that's a bit? That's how I would tell jokes.
You gotta go to the Intelligentsia Coffee. You gotta tell them I sent you.
And then I would go, so anyway, and it'd be like a minute of that, and then I'd get into the premise of my bit.
Right. I'm living it. Beautiful.
I had made a bunch of friends like in New York when they're visiting, and I saved them all on my phone. I'm like, these are like LA people. I'm gonna hit up when I'm there. And like there was one night in particular where like a bunch of people that I had met at a show in New York, done a show with, or met over Instagram or whatever, are all at the Improv. So I'm like, all right, that's where I'm hanging out tonight.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go there. Maybe if someone's late or someone doesn't show up, I'm doing a spot at the Hollywood Improv.
Hell yeah.
So I go there and when I first show up, I have friends doing the lab, not the main room. So I'm hanging out in the lab.
Yeah, which is the small room.
It's the smaller room, and they have a separate green. I believe, yeah, it's a separate green room. I think it connects to the other one, but it's a separate green room for there, which has a little hangout spot and its own bathroom.
Oh my God.
These are all unimportant details.
Okay.
Nope. It is important. Now that I remember the rest of the story.
I'm worried that it's important. Okay, keep going.
Important. So I go upstairs. My friend is on stage, and I go up because I'm like, now that my friend's on stage and not hanging out with me, I'm going to do what I needed to do, which is take a giant shit.
Yeah, take a shit.
And I'm in the green room of the improv hogging the bathroom. Like, it reaches a point where you're like, okay, if someone like had to shit and get on stage, that time's over.
No,
so, like,
this isn't no window.
This isn't like an active comedian taking a shit in the bathroom now. This is like
a 10-minute.
This is like +1
you're
or like a
out.
fucking audience member who like snuck into the green room
right.
and taking a shit.
And you have a tough relationship with your
parents.
bowels.
I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
Door gets banged on, and I'm like, sorry, give me another moment. And they go, all right. And more time passes, like 5 more minutes. This is one of those things where you're like, dude, I'm not gonna get up from the toilet because I keep getting tummy contractions. Like,
oh
I'm like,
no, you're just letting it rip.
Yeah, I'm like, if I don't get, it's one of those diarrheas where you're like, if I get up, I'm just at risk of like having to run right back here. So right. I'm just like,
yeah, you gotta let it go
out here for a while.
Oh yeah.
So I'm there. Door gets banged on again, and I go, I'm sorry. I'm like, give me like 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's already been 5 minutes. Like, now there's like a rush to the person's voice. There's like an urgency, a rush. Like, keep the shit moving.
By the way, there are multiple bathrooms at the Hollywood Improv.
When you find out who, you're gonna be like, no, there's not.
Oh no.
I stay there longer. I think maybe I get egregious because now I'm watching videos with like the sound on. Shut the fuck up. He was like, blah, blah, blah. Like, give me 5 more minutes. like
you full volume watching
I'm like full volume watching TikToks. I'm like I have to listen to music to like drown out what's going on so I could like keep this moving.
Yeah.
One more bang and I go, I'm sorry, and then I hear like fuck, and they leave. And when I finally finish up like 15 minutes later, I had held back Joe Rogan from shitting before headlining in the main room. Like, he had to do like an hour or like he was doing a headlining set.
Oh my God.
And I had to shit for so long that I stopped him. So when he was on stage and I saw on the screen sweating, I was like, well, that's not from the stage lights. That's like, this guy, he's got one in the chamber that he has not been able to shoot out because I was in here watching
But he didn't see you come out.
He never saw who I was. He will listen to this.
He'll know. Now he'll know. He'll remember.
Yeah. He's a Riff
such a
fan.
fucking nightmare. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Joey Dardano does it again. Anyway, that was a really good one. Joey.
Do you not say one?
No. Do you want me to?
I mean, yeah. Like, I feel like it's tit for tat.
What's this week?
What's this week?
I do embarrassing stuff all the time.
You're gonna love my story. Something crazy happens all the time to me. Let me just. I have a girlfriend. She lives in Canada. You'll never meet her.
I'm not gonna share one because we're at time. But
go ahead and share one.
I feel like I had one like recently.
You're crushing at the table right now.
Dude, I know. This is my podcast. Why am I letting you do this to me?
You're crushing at the table right now.
Sorry, we literally have to go. I can't share one. We'll cut that.
Go ahead and share one really quick.
No. So, Joey, thank you so much for coming.
I'm going to keep talking over you to prove that no matter how you cut this, you bailed on telling me.
And that's good.
And then thank you. And this is my embarrassing moment.
And then I'm going to keep talking over you so that
thank you for coming.
There will not be a single way for you to cut this
out of the studio
where you can't
Joey,
show
you're
the
love of
audience
my
that
life.
You bailed.
Thank you so much
on telling me an embarrassing story.
Thank you so much
for telling me an embarrassing story.
I think we got it.
Thank you for coming on the pod, Joey.
Hey.
Did you want to plug yourself a little bit? What do you have coming up?
I'll plug myself and whoever's available.
Yeah, plug it in.
I hated that. Can I change? Can I change? Can I change as a man? Can I change who I am?
Joey, where can we see you? Where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok at Joey Dardano. I'm on Wild and Out. I got tour dates on my website.
Beautiful.
Link in my bio. Check that out. Doing shows in New York and LA all the time. I go back and forth.
Lovely.
So come on out.
Yeah, you guys, you got to go see Joey. Definitely give him a follow. Very well worth it.
Gonna be at the Edinburgh Fringe all August with Stamp Town.
Let's fucking go.
That's gonna be awesome. Come on in. You can third mic it.
No, don't worry about it.
Shut
up!
Come, no, come.
No, come in. We're almost done. We're just wrapping up. I'm seeing you on Friday. This is Usama's sneak peek. He's coming on Friday. Signing off. Osama's actually my next guest, so this is perfect. Thank you, Joey, for coming on. This was so funny. We love you guys so much. See you back on the pod next time.